A 47-foot boat seemed huge when they bought it, but now it seemed very small. One night, as they anchored in an unnamed cove on some ambiguously named island, she strayed above deck to give Martin some time to stare at his charts and the nav station, as he called the kitchen table. The sense of feeling very small was reinforced as a couple of gray whales breached the surface near them and sprayed their misty breath into the air. The beast seemed enormous, and she ran screaming to Martin in the galley below. Somehow, being vulnerable and alone in nature seemed to reduce the secure feeling of self-importance and entitlement that she had developed over a lifetime. She didn't truly appreciate how small she was until they crossed Dixon Entrance. It was really the only part of the trip that required them to cross open water. A spring squall passed over them, and the sudden blast of wind and rain surprised both of them. Martin donned a safety harness and a rope. No, it's a line. To keep from being washed overboard, he had her go below deck to ride it out. As the opportunity crested a wave, the boat tipped precariously forward, being almost vertical in the water with the bow facing downward. As it fell into the trough of the wave, Victoria could see out of the portholes the wall of water some 40 or 50 feet tall behind them, and another one of similar height approaching. The boat would go vertical in the other direction as she hung on for dear life, praying. Then it would tip again, and the process would repeat. The height of the trough of each wave to its crest was greater than the 47-foot length of the boat. Martin struggled and hung on desperately, but he managed to keep the boat pointed into the wind. The waves crashed around him, and his heart sunk as opportunity fell straight down into every gap between the mountain waves. At various angles, the hatch would fly open, and the howling wind came pouring in. If the boat had simply been level, the water would have ended up being ankle deep, but the boat was anything but level. Salt water flew everywhere, soaking the cabins. Victoria also flew everywhere, unable to hang on to anything with soaking wet hands. She ended up bruised and sore from head to toe. When the storm passed, Martin came down to check on her. He was white as a sheet, his face completely drained of color. He looked at her apologetically, but he offered no word of compassion or concern, except for the mess. "Lord, what a mess," he uttered, as if it was her fault. "Is that all you can say? I've been through hell down here, and all you can say is, 'What a mess,'" Victoria exploded. "Well, things weren't so rosy topside, mind you," he retorted defensively. "It was all I could do to hang on." If it wasn't for the fact that everything they possessed was already scattered about and broken, she would have picked up a dish, a glass, or anything and thrown it at him. The argument continued for the next 20 minutes as bottled-up resentments and recriminations resurfaced. Both antagonists proved to have ample command of profanity, blasphemies, and insults of each other's characters and ancestry. It was the first time Victoria's thoughts turned to the prospect of murder.